Hello, folks, and welcome to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I am your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck. As always, you know we love hearing from you all. Your comments, stories, ideas. You can get a hold of us anytime. Call or text 305-900-2363. Again, that's 305-900-2363. Or you can always drop an email to benradioshow@gmail.com. Riding along shotgun, as always, my producer, sound engineer, and co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart.
Could you hear me cracking my knuckles? I'm sorry if you could hear that in the mic.
You're
I
lucky
was trying to be
I did
quiet
not.
and just kind of slowly pop them.
I
just
did
apologizing.
Not. Okay, well, I did not hear it, but
knuckles.
thank you for being so polite.
You're welcome.
All right, there's been some recent headlines that crossed my wires, and I thought I would share some of them with you.
Hold on, let me get the news music here.
And that there is why we call you my producer. Thank you for the sounds right there, Tigger.
We need some new sound effects. I will work on that.
All right, first one that crossed my wires was Colorado recently had a Renaissance festival and a black bear decided to crash the party. Yeah, the bear ate all the leftover cinnamon almonds. Hey, those are some of my favorites,
Have you ever been to a Renaissance fair? I'm sorry I'm jumping in there. Have you ever been to a Renaissance fair?
No, it's on my bucket
They
list.
are lots of fun. I was at one in Kansas City, and I was really surprised. I thought, this is going to be weird. It was awesome.
Just so you know, if we ever go together, I'm not going to come home and call you Lord.
Fine.
Or King.
But back in the day, Lord was just a sign of respect. It wasn't necessarily that it was an elevated status. It was just a sign of respect, like, sir, thank you, me lord. See?
I'm not going to
Okay,
call
you're
you
still
it,
not gonna call me
or a
that. All right,
duke,
all
or
right.
anything. Back to this Renaissance fair. I bring it up because, as I mentioned, a bear crashed the party. Well, that's not the only wildlife that has been sneaking into areas unwanted. A raccoon, then, in another state, happened to break into the home, feast and enjoy all the snacks, got trapped because the owners of the home were gone for a little while, and he got so big he couldn't escape through how he got into said home.
How did he get into said home? They don't know. Stuck through a window or what?
He broke in.
He had the key.
Nicely.
I'm sorry.
Well, he got himself, I'll be honest, he got himself stuck under a shelf surrounded with all the snack packets, and he just kept devouring them.
And then he was stuck.
And then he got himself stuck.
There you go, kids. You need to eat nutritious.
Well, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because whether you're on vacation, going on vacation, if you live, of course, in bear country or anything like that, you are used to, it's second nature to lock up all of your stuff. But I've been having and watching other people commenting on a lot of the Facebook groups that I am in when they're going to, say, travel to national parks that might have bears. They're enjoying some of the national forests, the grasslands, some of these areas that have bears, and there's quite a few areas throughout the United States that do, and they are not aware of how important it is to lock up said food at all times. It's not just at night when you go to bed.
You know, we're terrible about that. We really are, that we need to lock up our place a little bit better. There's always, not doors open, but I mean, like any place, you know, a door is sagging here, there, something like that. I mean, just about any critter can get in. Now I've got you freaked out.
Exactly right. Because think about bears, raccoons, possums. They all
Snakes, Beck. Snakes. Snakes can get in.
We're going to go.
Sticky traps.
We're going back to the other type, okay? Because the critters I'm mentioning, stay focused, Tigger. I know it's hard today, okay? The critters I'm mentioning, think about it. If you're not familiar with them, they've got claws. So yes, they could get in there and pry said door open. And that is what they do. They get in your coolers. They get in your cars. They get in anywhere you don't want them. And if you are, quick reminder, if you're traveling to some of those areas, like for example, Bozeman's very good. They always have a bear watch group out. Instead of having, you know, the neighborhood watch for thieves, yeah, they've actually got a bear watch group.
Do you remember, I think it was last summer, when me and the mighty cow dog went into the shop and the dog was acting a little bit funny, and we went back by the kayaks, and I noticed that there was some unusual scat. See how I'm professional with that? And we're kind of looking around. Here, somehow, some feral cat got in the shop, scared the dog and I half to death. The dog and I, the mighty cow dog that she is, we came, her and I, tearing out of that shop.
Tigger came running out of there screaming in a high-pitched voice.
Scared. I didn't know what it was because it was in the dark. Scared the bejesus out of me. Remember that?
All right, so there. Now everybody got their warning. Don't be like Tigger, okay? That's all I'm getting at. That's why I shared this one. All right, next on my list, you doomsday preppers. In case you haven't seen this, Costco is now selling doomsday dinner kits. Excuse me.
How much are they?
Well, listen up. They are selling the Apocalypse dinner kit for just under $100. The kit contains a variety of freeze-dried food with 150 servings.
Perfect. Doomsday
preppers just need to add water to the meals, which have about 15,000 calories.
Let's get one.
And the kits are good to eat for, they're saying, 25 years.
If they're freeze-dried, I know they last a lot longer. I've tried just dehydrating foods, and remember, you and I tried
fails.
them. Yeah, those were epic fails that they did not work.
We have not done well with freeze-drying the meals ourselves and have learned to go other routes. Yeah. And I'm going to bring this up again because a lot of times there's a lot of great freeze-dried meals on the market right now. A lot of folks this time of year are really doing a lot of backcountry, or they're getting ready for hunting season. Those of you that have hunted big game and all that, you know yourself, you got to prep your stomachs, your bodies to eat said freeze-dried food.
Your guts.
Otherwise, it will come back to haunt you. Or you don't want it to. Yeah. Okay, so this is just a quick reminder before also maybe you spend too much money on some of these doomsday dinner kits. You might want to see if there's a sampler package and maybe try a little bit before you go gung-ho, okay? And spend $1,000 and have yourself set up for 25 years worth of food.
Or it will gung-ho on you.
Okay, next on my list, fans of sriracha. Yes, that hot sauce. I'm not really a fan of it.
I love sriracha.
When there was a shortage last year, it did not bother me one bit or another. However, Tigger, he was using his sparsely to get it through. Well, now that it's back on the shelves, we're hearing folks that are surprised to find out that the sriracha may have a brown color instead of the red color that you're typically used to seeing, which might make you go, oh, is this sriracha even any good? Well, it turns out the change in color is due to the chili supply being deemed too green. And just letting you know, they have noticed maybe a little difference in the taste as well, because these peppers are a little greener when they're getting turned into sriracha. But the most clarifying thing, I guess the biggest thing that's standing out is the color. So don't be afraid if it's a little brown, okay?
It's sriracha.
But don't come after me if it hurts your eggs, okay? It's not my fault. I don't eat it anyway. All right, next up, I thought this was crazy because recently out in Garland, Texas, somebody went after trying to land the world's largest beer float. Beer, like B-E-E-R.
I love Garland, Texas. They got my attention now. Continue.
Well, what caught my eye about this was that I had never thought of putting ice cream in beer.
Where have you been?
My question, well, root beer is a no-brainer, but Tigger, seriously, have you ever thought about putting a scoop or two of ice cream in a lager?
We've all tried something like that at one day or another.
How have I not?
I don't know where you've been. Apparently not at the Beer Float Festival.
Well, I'm just curious. Okay, let me know your thoughts. If you have tried a beer float, and if it is a thumbs up or thumbs down, text me right now at 305-900-2363. Again, call or text 305-900-2363 and let me know if this is a good thing or not. Should I be trying a beer float?
Think about it, like a Guinness beer or something.
I know.
With the right kind of
with a vanilla
ice cream
scoop
of
custard ice cream. I guess I could see that could be actually pretty dang good.
Can we go to break and try this?
We're going to have to try this around the campfire. That will be a win-win in my book. Is it too
early in the day to try this? Never.
I know. Right now we're all hot and looking for something cool to drink. So give it a try. Let us know what you think. All right, we're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're talking about more, of course, the outdoors, camping, and you know what? You never know what's coming around the bend. This is The Ben Show.
Pro rodeo fans, watch the Cowboy Channel anytime, anywhere with PRCA on the Cowboy Channel Plus. Live stream the Cowboy Channel or watch your favorite PRCA rodeos on demand. Classic PRCA rodeos added weekly. Get the PRCA on the Cowboy Channel Plus for only $9.99 a month or save 25% by signing up for a full year. Visit CowboyChannelPlus.com to sign up and start streaming today.
The hunt is planned. The guide is booked. The trip is blocked off in the calendar. But one huge detail remains, preserving that trophy, creating a memory that will last a lifetime. Little Rack Taxidermy has that fast, friendly service to fulfill your taxidermy in a timely, professional manner. Reach out to Heather with Little Rack Taxidermy through Facebook at Little Rack Taxidermy or send an email to heatherjoe23@hotmail.com. Little Rack Taxidermy, bringing back the natural look.
Shooting ducks, skinning bucks, I'm a hunting princess in a pickup truck.
You've waited, dreamt of a hunting adventure, and now have harvested that trophy of a lifetime. Keep the memory alive with a custom-designed mount, preserved as a work of art. Check out our approved taxidermist depending on your location. The award-winning Schneider Taxidermy is located in Helena, Montana. When hunting the Dakotas, JB's Wildlife Designs in Mandan, North Dakota. Then Shadwin Creek Taxidermy in Nebraska. And for the Central USA, Little Rack Taxidermy in Macomb, Illinois. Reach out to The Ben Show and let us help you find the right taxidermist. Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I'm your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, and riding along shotgun, my co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Now, this year has been, I would say, safe to say, a very volatile weather-wise year. Wouldn't you say,
very
Tigger?
Unpredictable. I mean, there's been lots of tornadoes. I mean, it's been really kind of a wild summer, I'll say that.
It really has been, between the heat, and then I know even in our area we've had higher humidity than usual, so we've had a lot of pop-up storms, I believe is what our weatherman calls them.
Lots of tornadoes in our area, which is why I brought this up to you, because I got a phone call from some rodeo friends of ours, and they just a couple weeks ago were in a tornado at the rodeo. There's been rodeos this year, been canceled. Just using rodeo as an example because that's kind of our arena. No pun intended there. But a lot of people this year kind of caught with their pants down at some of these different activities and camping and campsites when weather has turned bad. I jumped on I'm in a few different of these Facebook groups. You're in lots of them too. I mean, all these different kinds of things. And there was one individual that went on there and was talking about, my camper got hit from a storm, my awning got blasted because of this. So here are a few tips and tricks that we have put together. I know all of us have forgot this, but if a storm is coming up, and it doesn't matter if a storm is coming up or not, every night you should pull that awning in.
Period.
Bar
I
none.
hear again and again, a lot of times people get, new to camping, even they're old to camping, and always that awning gets overlooked.
Right.
And even don't do it just when you go to bed at night. If you are leaving your campsite, your camp area, reel that awning back in. I'm telling you, it is not worth the risk leaving it out.
Exactly. And one of the big things that a lot of people are saying, and I agree with this wholeheartedly, is if a storm is coming and you know that this thing is going to be bad, get up and leave. Just hook up and just leave instead of, because where are you camping at? You're always by a tree, right? And this happened to our friend Joey last summer that he was up at the lake and he was parked by the only tree in that storm. And of course, the tree fell on said camper.
Correct.
Totaled out his camper. The same goes for if you're at rodeos, you're hauling, living quarters trailer or anything like that. Number one, put the awning in. Number two, if it's really, really bad, just get up and leave. I know that there are different kinds of anchor kits, ground anchors, and sandbags and tie downs and all of these sorts of different things that are out there. And I know some people are going to say, hey, we withstood this tornado or this storm or these winds. We did X, Y, and Z. But if you are in question, just hitch up and get out of there.
If that's not an option, though, again, I always say and this should be anytime you check into a campsite, ask that camp host immediately, where is the tornado shelter? Okay.
Right,
Make
right.
sure you find out about that. Make sure this year specifically, excuse me, my stutter there, you are watching and having those radars on your phone and allowing the notifications to come in for pop-up storms, weather changing quickly, because you're going to want to know if you can't get out of there, or you're not going to beat the storm. You might be able to help yourself a little bit by, say, move your camper a bit so that it is not under a tree if you can. Also, another trick to it, they say a lot of times, and this goes for stock trailers too. Saw this at the rodeo when I was at a couple weeks ago. Make sure that trailer is parked facing into the wind.
If you can.
The front end or the back end is going with how the wind is blowing if you can. Because think about it, you just decrease the amount of size that wind can hit and reduce the likelihood of it flipping it over.
Now, if you've got a fifth wheel or a travel trailer, hitch them back up. Maybe you're not leaving, but hitch them back up to your truck or van or whatever you're pulling it with, just to give it a little bit more weight. Just some some tips and tricks, because we all know somebody. In fact, there's a lot of you listening right now. You've been caught in a storm, and probably, if you're like Beck and I, you've been in a lot of campers and you've done a lot of this, and there was probably some times you were a little bit nervous of what is going to happen. I get it. I understand a lot of these RVs are supposed to withstand winds. I'm really now struggling. I'm all tongue-tied, of up to 90 miles per hour.
That's a
But
lot.
we're talking some
think about this way.
serious winds in that situation.
At 90 miles an hour, how does your house fare?
Exactly.
And you're expecting a camper
Your
to fare in
shingles.
that?
Your
I was just
shingles
going
at
to
home.
say, yes. And if nothing else, especially if you are new to the RV camping world and you're taking insurance out on these, make sure you're double checking, what does your insurance exactly cover?
Thank you very much. Now, on that same topic about that, I did get a question, and sorry, this actually came to me this time versus you. You normally field all the emails, and that was in regards to upgrading said camper and financing different things like that. Right now, I am going to say, before you even get your hopes up, before you even get on Facebook Marketplace and you start dreaming and all of that, if you are going to finance one, talk to your financial institution first, because those interest rates on your campers are very different than for a vehicle or for a home. For a lot of them, they have gone up considerably. So before you financially strap yourself and before you get yourself set to have your heart broken, do that first and just find out, is that even an option? Because when you start shopping and doing this and making all these plans, and then you go to the bank and you find out, oh my gosh, even if you have really good credit, the interest rates for those types of toys are going up.
Exactly. And it's not bad to think about. So as Tigger said, affordability. Hey, can you afford this comfortably? Is this going to hurt you if, say, something happens in the economy here in the future? Of course, we're not saying it's going to, but make sure you can truly afford said upgrade or to even get into a camper so that you aren't stuck in it. But then also, it's kind of like when you go to purchase a home, and I see this done. I've had friends do this. They forget to double check how much is the insurance going to cost on said camper.
Perfect.
Another one that gets overlooked. Is your state one that requires registration fees every year? What kind of fees are they for a recreational vehicle? A lot of states are very low, or they might be able to do a one-time, you can get a tag registration and you're done. But that's not the case everywhere. That's why I'm just bringing that up.
And Beck and I are literally in the process. We're looking to get a camper, and we've looked at a lot of different options, and we've gone back and forth, and we've done this, but we've actually spent a lot of time, and some of these Facebook groups are really good because they're with seasoned individuals that have experience, and usually that experience is gained off of failures, is how it works.
That's
a lot
how
of
we all
times.
learn.
That's how we all learn. Join them. Start asking some questions. Read some information, but get prepared because this is a big investment, and especially the repairs on said campers can be astronomical at times.
I'm glad you brought up the repair stuff because that's the long-term costs as well. Are you prepared for those long-term costs or those annual costs, like making sure you are winterizing that camper
Very
properly?
good.
Are you capable of doing so? Are you mechanically inclined? If you are or aren't, that's okay. But you might have to pay extra to have somebody else do it, and you don't realize it just cost you an extra $400 a year to winterize said unit.
And, of course, we're probably not going to be sponsored by any camper dealership at this time, although we will entertain those conversations.
We're going to have all these tips for you listed on the Ben Show website, and the Ben Show website is thebenshow.com. Again, that's thebenshow.com. All right, we're going to take a short break, crew. Stay where you are. The Ben Show will be back right after this.
Before you head to the next rodeo, a concert, maybe a gathering on or off the ranch, we head to Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Tigger and Beck here for Medora Boot and Western Wear. Latest Western fashion in boots, jackets, and hats.
From durable ranch wear to keeping the horses in sturdy tack, visit medoraboot.com to order.
Or better yet, plan to visit Medora, North Dakota and shop Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Again, go to medoraboot.com. You can follow on Facebook and tell them Tigger and Beck sent you.
Hey guys and gals, this is John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV travels the back roads to the backwaters in pursuit of the ultimate adventure in hunting and fishing. Join Team UOA every week for exciting action in the crosshairs of the outdoors. Catch Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV on YouTube, Amazon Prime, and make sure to follow Team UOA on Facebook and Instagram to share in the ultimate outdoor adventure.
This is Beck. First, I appreciate all of you for listening and making The Bend part of your week. Many of you have asked, how do I catch past episodes? The answer is super easy. Head to thebendshow.com and click on the Shows tab. There you can listen to every episode all the way back to episode 1. Podcasters, head to your favorite podcasting app and search The Bend. You'll find us. Be sure to follow and subscribe and never miss another episode again. Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I'm your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, and ride along shotgun as always, Jeff Tigger Earhart. We were talking campers before the break. We're still talking campers, but we're talking now. You've decided, you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet and probably buy my first used camper. We're talking used campers, not new campers.
New to you.
New to you, which is what we are doing right now. Tigger and I are being ultra picky because we've quickly realized in our analysis, research, and discussing with other owners, even remembering past RVs that we have owned. First one that we always look for absolutely is structural integrity. Now that sounds simple, but you might hear the phrase, well, that's just a little bit of usual wear and tear for its age. Yeah, you really got to be looking at that structural integrity. And when you're looking at that outside structure, you're also climbing up on the roof and checking to make sure that roof isn't about time to have it resealed. Or when was the last time that owner did reseal the roof?
And this was recommended to us actually at a RV place, which was great. And they said, you need to go into every corner, every cupboard, and that's where you need to look for leaks.
Yes.
Every possible little nook and cranny, and you'll see the discoloration of wood or paneling or siding or whatever is in there. You're going to see that little discoloration if there is any leaks.
Or feel for soft spots.
Right.
You know, so if you see a little bubble or something that just looks a little warped or something, make sure you're pushing on it to see, is that a soft spot? And here it was water damage.
Question if something looks worn, why it is worn.
Yes, yes. The next thing to be watching for are your mechanical systems. And we're talking about your plumbing, your electrical, your HVAC. That's all really important. Make sure those are all going. You're crawling under that camper, RV, whatever you are purchasing, and going all over and checking and actually running the water while it's still at that person's place or the facility, whoever you're buying it from, testing out, turning the air conditioner on. They say it's cold. You want to feel it cold before you write a check. Another thing is if it has slides on it, make sure you are opening the unit up fully yourself, closing it, and you're listening to the gears, the motors
and
on those
seals,
slide outs.
The seals on those slides too.
Yes. And then another one is the documentation in history. If they say that they have well maintained it, then say, I want a copy, or I want to see the actual records that you have. Show proof that you did take it in and have so-and-so service it every year.
We want you to have fun out there. And like we said, Beck and I are going through this, but just do your due diligence, because this is a big responsibility taking on one of these.
It is. But you know what? You're going to have a lot of fun once you hit the road with your RV. And that is all, folks. This show is wrapped for this week. Remember, we love hearing from you all. You can call or text anytime, 305-900-2363. Again, that's 305-900-2363. Be sending in those questions, those thoughts you might have, something spa-worthy, your area's field reports. Or you can also email bendradioshow@gmail.com. If you missed part of this episode or you want to hear past shows, you can find them all on the website, thebendshow.com. Again, that's thebendshow.com. And be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting app or to The Ben Show YouTube channel. Thank you to our partners, Diatelli Outdoors, The Prairie Crocus, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Blue Water Girl Charters, Buckstorm, Little Rack Taxidermy, Mickey's Mustard. If you haven't tried that, give it a try. I love Mickey's Mustard. As well as ToxicCalls.com, Atlas Tracks, RFD TV, and Wrangler. Finally, a big thanks to all you listeners that once again came along. And whether you're coming or going today, stay with us as we ranch it up. And remember to keep up with me, Beck, all week long by following The Bend on Facebook or on Instagram @The Bend Show. This is Rebecca Warner. Catch Beck if you can next week on The Bend.